Hey, what's up everybody? Brent from the Van Mart here, and today we're installing the Vanspeed 2023 and up skid plate. Okay, now what you're gonna find inside the box is gonna be a front plate, a mid plate, and your oil drain cover. Inside the box is going to be a bag of hardware, and in that bag there's going to be 14 quarter 20 button head bolts, 10 sealing washers, and 10 clip-on nuts. Okay, so you're only going to need 3 tools for this job. It's going to be a 13mm socket, a 5mm Allen wrench, and a 5/32 Allen wrench. All right, so the first step of installing the skid plate is, one, if you have a Baja bumper, you're going to want to loosen up all the hardware on there, and that's so you can get the skid plate to get up under there at a later step. If you don't have a Baja bumper, you're most likely going to have a cross brace going from side to side with 2 bolts and 2 bolts. You're going to remove that cross brace, but keep the hardware because you're going to reuse that at a later step. Okay, so this van already has a Baja bumper on it, so we're going to start off by removing these 4 13mm bolts that are one here, one up there, and the same thing on the other side. All right, so now we're going to hop onto the other side and do the exact same thing. So now we're going to have some room to be able to lift this out and get the skid plate up back behind here before we reinsert these bolts. Before the skid plate goes on, we need to take these 3 clip-on nuts and put them into these 3 squares right here. We're also going to climb under the van and put the clip-on nuts onto the chassis where the other parts of the skid plate are going to mount. Okay, so we've already installed the clip-on nuts. And these far back mounts, we'll show you those in a second, but for now we're going to finish it up by putting these 2 on right now. All right, so we just finished putting the 2 clips on. We already had the rear ones installed. That should give you a total of 7 clips. There should be 2 in the front, 2 in the middle, and 3 across the back. All right, now it's time to put the front plate on. We're going to reutilize the stock hardware that came out of the frame on the 2 sides. Typically you would just put the bolts in right here, but we have a Baja bumper on, so we're going to have to pull it back. Since we have all the loose hardware now, it's easy for us to do that and slip the skid plate up underneath there. All right, so we're going to slip this back under here. It can be done with one person, but obviously having a friend help you out with this is a lot easier. All right, so we're gonna finish up putting these last 2 bolts in here. This would be the exact same thing if you didn't have a Baja bumper, but you would just be going into the frame rails where you removed that support earlier. All right, we'll get this last bolt in here, but we're gonna leave all the hardware fairly loose for now. All right, now for this step, we're actually gonna get the mid plate and we're gonna slide it on top of the front plate. I'm leaving the oil change, the cover off right now, just in case I need to put my hand in here and adjust any of the clip-on nuts. All right, so now that we have the mid plate under the front plate, we're gonna finagle these bolts into the clip nuts. It's a little bit difficult with one person. 2 people, it would be a lot easier, but it's definitely possible. Then we're just going to finish up the rest. Remember, do not forget your sealing washers, and then we'll go through with an impact and just get them all tight. All right, you can go through it and just make sure that they're all just snug, not too tight. All right, now that the skid plate is all snugged up, we're going to reinstall the oil filler cap with the 4 Allen bolts and the sealing washers. Okay, now if you have a Baja bumper, do not forget to tighten down the 2 Allen bolts that are on top of your bumper. And now we're gonna go to the other side and do the exact same thing. Okay, and the last step of the install is just tightening up the 2 factory bolts. You got 2 on each side. Whether you have a ball bumper or you do not, you're still gonna tighten these things up. Now we're gonna hop on the other side and do the exact same thing. So that wraps up the 2023 and up Vanspeed skid plate install on the Sprinter. If you have any questions, you can give us a phone call or you can hit us up at thevanmart.com. Thanks for watching and safe and happy travels.